Greetings all, and welcome back to another video. Now, by reading the title, I'm sure you know what this video is going to be about. And this is pretty much like a state of creation, kind of play on words of state of union. Pretty much just an address to YouTube and where my mind is about this platform right now, from the perspective of a small content creator. Now, there's a lot to talk about with this video and in this kind of topic, but I'll do my best to narrow it down to a few key points, starting with point 1. The unfair opportunity based on your current status in regards to success and whatnot. Now, what do I mean by this, you may ask? Well, in short, the way that YouTube is right now, if you come here as an average person, expect to have a really hard time despite, you're doing everything you can to make sure that your video gets noticed. Hours of editing, writing scripts, tagging videos, and still your videos can just be buried, essentially. Now, however, if a known person gets on YouTube and makes even a 1-minute video, or even just a 10-second video, right, without tagging, hopping on any trend, somehow their content ends up shown to millions. And once again, it doesn't have to be like any high-quality video. It doesn't have to be a long video at all. It can just be like a short video. And somehow, without doing any of what I just stated, tagging, writing, editing, or anything, it's shown to all these different people, right? It's almost as if, YouTube is actually doing what there should be and sharing the darn video to the people who would be interested in that kind of content, right? And in other words, what that tells to me is, if you're famous when you come to YouTube, you don't really have to do any kind of work for the most part. You're just bound to get, your like million subscribers or whatnot. And it's just ridiculous to me. Now, I just want to state this right now, like, I am in no way saying that, like, you are entitled to YouTube success. That's not what the point of the video is. What I am, however, saying with that first point is the fact that everyone should be entitled to equal treatment. If I'm going out of my way to do everything that I can to make sure that a video, actually gets noticed, even if it doesn't necessarily go viral, I think everyone is entitled to the fact that it should at least actually be shown to people instead of getting buried. There's no reason why some guy who's just a celebrity should basically put practically zero effort in a content, make basically like a video filmed on a potato pretty much, shaky and everything, yet somehow get millions of views without tagging or trending or anything, or even sounding a horn and saying that I made a YouTube channel, while someone who's actually putting in the time doesn't have their content shown. That's just point number 1. Point number 2. Being almost forced to be disingenuous with your audience. Now, this one may seem a bit convoluted to people because I hear some say that they come onto YouTube to be entertained and not to be bummed out and whatnot and depressed. And I get that. I really do. But I have to just say this right now, right? We live in a real world. We live in a real world, and we can't just pretend as if serious issues don't exist. We can't just ignore those problems forever. We have to address them at some point. You see, if one doesn't admit that there is a problem, how then can someone find a solution to it if they don't admit that there's a problem? What I'm trying to lead on with here is the fact that YouTube wants everyone to just be happy-go-lucky, overly enthusiastic, as if nothing bad ever happens to me, right? And you have to have so much energy, like you've taken some kind of drug and you're just all hyped up all the time, 24/7. And we can see this happen a lot because, people like PewDiePie have talked about, forced positivity and whatnot, because that's just what YouTube is these days. They just want you to pretend as if nothing bad happens. And if you do try and, like, address serious topics and whatnot, even if you're trying to make those videos to, like, try and help someone, right? Whether it's about talking about things like depression, anxiety, suicide, serial killer documentaries, crime scene investigations, and whatnot. These kinds of channels get censored, demonetized, and sometimes the videos are just outright removed from the platform for various reasons, right? Hours of hard work, writing scripts, editing the videos, gone, right? And what for? It's not as though, like, the creator of the content was just, like, advocating people should participate in these said activities. They put them up to encourage people who have those problems to get help and whatnot. That's literally why the content is there. Yet with YouTube, once again, they want to pretend as if this is the magical world of Disney and nothing bad ever happens here, right? So unless you're BBC News, freaking what's that darn channel? Discovery Channel and whatnot, like, only then can you post about, like, serious topics. Otherwise, if you're an average Joe, say goodbye to that video as well as monetization. Now, 3. An absolutely horrid algorithm. Now, this one is a bit complicated as it goes into a few different issues, but I'm going to just try and do my best to explain it, right? So, if you have started to create content on YouTube, then I am certain that you understand how bad the algorithm on YouTube can be. Burying people because they aren't following some bloody trend or because of the type of videos that they produce. But the rabbit hole does not end there, my friends, you see, because if you did not know, apparently I am not certain as to how long this has been going on YouTube, but YouTube actually hides videos that you upload from your audience, essentially saying that they think that your audience isn't going to enjoy that kind of a video, and so most of your audience just doesn't see it. They're just like, oh, hey, I've got a great idea. Let's make this video that you made public, public so that people actually see it. Let's make this video invisible to like 80% of the people that subscribe to you, despite the fact that, once again, you did make it public. Those same people who press that button so that they can see the content that you create because they seem to enjoy it enough. Oh, wait, it doesn't stop there. It gets much better. Because, because even now, right, if YouTube sees that users haven't been watching a content creator, like, consistently, well, allow me to enlighten you to the amazing decision that they have taken upon themselves. They decide that since you're not interested in this content, apparently, even though you might not have watched a video for, like, a few days or whatnot, they unsubscribe you without you noticing. Now, some of you are probably saying, TCD, there is no way that that is true. Well, then pray tell me why so many different creators making various kinds of content, can attest to the same thing of at least several different people in the comments saying that they were once someone who subscribed and apparently YouTube unsubscribed for them and they had to resubscribe. Why are so many different people making so many different types of content on YouTube saying that same problem if it's not real? Now, to finish this off with my personal opinions with this platform, aside from those 3 points that I just wanted to make, this is probably going to be the rambling kind of side. I've always wanted to make, content for people, particularly like discussion-based content, where I talk about issues that most people want to pretend doesn't exist. And I've always had a knack for writing and gathering evidence and data about existing circumstances in an attempt to see if there's anything that we can do to, like, fix that problem, whatever it may be, right? Yet, when I came to YouTube, despite the fact that there are indeed people looking for discussion channels, you're buried, pretty much. You're just buried, and your content is rarely shown to anyone unless you talk about some trending topic. And even then, because you're not like some massive channel or some celebrity, you don't get noticed, despite the fact that you tag, despite the fact that you try and do your best to make a creative thumbnail, you just don't get noticed. And once again, I'm not saying I'm entitled to that. I feel everyone is entitled to at least equal treatment, like, once again, some celebrity comes on here and doesn't tag their videos and whatnot, it should do just as bad as someone who chooses not to tag their videos as well, right? I genuinely feel that YouTube is telling us new content creators that they will decide, them, not you, not the amount of work you put in, they will decide who does and does not make it on this platform. And the way that they go about that is, if you are here, already, if you were already here before, like, this platform went on the downward spiral, well, then you're probably going to be relatively solid and you'll make it relatively well. Unless they get bored of you, of course. And, if you're new, unless you're willing to follow every trend under the darn sun, clickbait, censor certain opinions that people don't agree with these days, then we don't really give a nickel if you are creating content on this platform. We are just fine with you watching videos because that makes us money. You know, I feel like YouTube knows that it's a monopoly of the video sharing platforms, and despite the frustrations that most people and both like content creator as well as user have with this platform, like our best chance of like actually getting big with, you know, video sharing is to stay on YouTube. And they know that desperately, right? Like in my eyes, this platform freaking needs competition. It truly needs competition. They know that that we don't have anywhere to go, you know, if we're actually going to like make it. So even with great platforms like BitChute that I talk about on the regular on this channel, you know, they lack the funding to effectively combat YouTube. So if a platform were to come out that was actually fair and it had the funding to like combat YouTube and it was fair in how it treated creators, you were rewarded for actually doing what you were supposed to do with your videos, you know, tagging them, editing, and all that good stuff. You know, I don't think people realize how fast people would leave, because based on personal conversations with many different creators, you know, we'd leave YouTube in a heartbeat. The way that I see it, unless this platform gets competition, things will just continue to get worse and worse for for like everyone who uses this platform. The platform as a whole will just get bad for both viewers and content creators. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry for that vent, guys, but I really don't like to show you what's going on, like with how I feel about YouTube as a whole. I've never really gotten to the point where like I said, "Oh, I'm going to quit." I'm not really I try not to be a quitter in life and whatnot. But I do get really frustrated with this platform, and it's not like because I'm trying to make it. It's just I really do not like when people get special treatment. I don't like that because, you know, like, you always hear, like, you know, oh, don't go expecting to just get something handed to you, and then you see someone else basically get this exact same thing that they're saying, you know, don't expect someone to just hand something to you, and then, once again, someone gets something handed to them, and that's really infuriating because it's obviously, you know, there's a lack of equity there, you know? So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed that little vent on YouTube. I really hope that some people can tell me if you relate to this, because trust me, you are not alone. You are not alone. If you're a small content creator, man, and even if you're a big content creator, I'm sure that there's a lot of big content creators that feel the same way. You know, leave a comment. Leave how you feel about YouTube as a whole. I don't care if it's a freaking, you know, 45-page essay. I will probably read it, because there's just sometimes that I need to hear someone talking about these issues as well. So with that being said, rate the video what you think it deserves. Tell me what you'd like to see in the future in the comments below. Feel free to check out my Amino linked in the comments. Feel free to check out my BitChute, where I have a podcast and I upload podcasts relatively weekly. And I will see all of you in the next video. Take care.